Record. So, what did you think of this episode? Episode 4 of Dune Prophecy.
Twice
Should we give it like
born.
a little recap of like what happened first? Is that like like
Yes.
all the acolytes kind of wake up to a nightmare. They're kind of all suffering from the same one, except for your girl Jen
Was
is
she
not
not?
suffering
Because
from.
I thought she was lying because she
No, she did not suffer from that nightmare. So basically Tula's, she's, this is real fast recap. She's kind of takes all the girls, gathers all the girls, has them kind of meditate and kind of access their fear. And then they all start drawing the same pictures, which turn out to be the blue eyes and the Shahalud. um uh Valia is still, she returns home to Harkonnen, and I forgot, is it Evgeny? I, Ev Evgeny? Basically the Robert Baratheon.
yeah.
But her, I guess, is it her cousin? Yeah, because that's her uncle. So I think that's
Hmm.
her cousin.
Yeah.
Basically she's like, you got to get on, like, we're gonna make it sure that you get on the High Council before this meeting, and kind of has all the sisters start whispering in some High Council's ears, like, hey,
That was a cool scene.
yeah, we know the rumors, and you know what? It would be great is if you have a house bring up or challenge the Emperor, but make it a house that you really don't care if they lose anything. Which would be
Yeah.
a great House Harkonnen, which was a great scene. I love where he was like, well done, like real quiet to her when she was standing behind him.
Yeah.
Um,
Because he had just criticized her when he walked in the door
right,
because she was in his mind just lounging. And
right.
then, yeah.
Yeah. Princess Inez is not thrilled with her father. I think one of our theories has come right that she splits from the family.
Yep.
She is very much she
Very
so
publicly split from the family.
publicly splits from the family because at that High Council meeting, oh, I just kicked that off. Um, what did I do?
Well, it's back on now.
Is it? No, it's not. Anyways,
Oh.
that's fine. Oh, no, that's gonna drive me crazy. Hold on.
You have trouble again.
Okay, yes, back. So Princess Inez at the High Council, where basically House Harkonnen was going to bring, and he did. He, in fairness to him, he was going to bring up the challenge to the Emperor about, hey, why are you letting this murder? We've heard this guy's murder. Why are you letting him run free?
Yeah.
Before he can even get the words out, Princess Inez steps in and she challenges, and she says, hey, but what's his face? Desmond gives a great speech
Ugh.
and brings
Got him.
in, which I, again, we'll get into this. Like, he brings in the people who were going to set off the bomb at the High
Mhm.
Council meeting, which the Mother Superior was going to swoop in and play the hero. He swoops in and plays the hero, and
Uno reverse card.
right, and burns all of the conspirators to death there. And then Mother Superior gets some of his blood, and we find out that yes, in fact, that Lila has been reanimated,
Resurrected, twice
resurrected.
born,
Yes,
all of it. All the prophecy things are happening with her right now.
yeah, she could be the one twice born. We don't know. So yeah, that's kind of a overview in a nutshell, but we're gonna get into that. So, thoughts, your initial thoughts.
I thought it was a good episode. There were a lot of moving parts, a lot of storylines that are going on at the same time.
Hmm.
I thought they did a decent job balancing them. It's cool to see the sisters at work, spreading the rumors and
Yes.
all of that. I thought that was really cool. Um, I It felt like a Game of Thrones episode,
Yes.
but like I was less attached to it. Like, and like, I feel like it followed the script of a Game of Thrones episode where there's this plan, but then the plan goes sideways and this happens and the bad guy prevails, although at the same time, who really is the bad guy in this situation?
Right.
But similar to Game of Thrones, I felt like everybody was bad. But that's how it felt. I just didn't have the emotional connection to the character, so it like wasn't as
Plus,
suspense.
knowing there's only 6 episodes, it's hard to like it. This would be different if this was a Game of Thrones episode. You got 10 episodes and you're really like politically world building,
Yes,
and this is part of a bigger thing. But I mean, like, we're rushed due to, I mean, good for them that they are zipping through storylines and
yeah,
things are like coming to heads fast. But on the other hand, you kind of are then there is a level of being removed from it because it's going so fast. You don't have time to again let the room breathe and understand kind of fully what's going on. Because
exactly.
good, I mean, you hear about the conspiracy to blow up the throne room or, with the emperor, and then like it immediately like it comes to a head.
Yeah.
Like it's in this episode and da-da and done. So, I mean, it is zipping through fast and yeah, I don't know if it has to.
And that's the thing. Like, it's weird because it's like you don't want to say to slow down, but
Right.
with 6 episodes, you have to go at this pace.
Right.
You have
Right.
to. It's just you sacrifice a connection
Connection.
with them. Like, look at us.
Hey, look at us.
So that definitely it hurt from that, but it was good to see the storyline and things that we were thinking would happen start to happen. Now, this was episode 4.
Hmm.
Constantine is still breathing. I believe that had Desmond's plan. The way I thought it was going to go down,
Right.
I didn't think it was going to go exactly according to plan, but I did think the bomb was going to go off,
Okay.
and somehow in the scuffle, Constantine was going to die.
Right.
Or I thought that the princess was going to challenge her father. She was going to get brushed off, pushed aside, and then Constantine was going to be like, no, you're going
Right.
to listen to what she has to say. And then in the process, he was going to like get too close to the emperor
Right.
and like point his finger at his chest. And then Desmond was just going to come in and behead him. Like, I like halfway through, I was like, all right, like, because
Here we
Constantine
go.
didn't want to do it. And
Right.
then Princess talked him into it. So I'm like, all right, this is like, they're giving him a lot of screen time. This man's about to die in defense of his sister. I was like, just check it off. That theory was proven right, and then he's still alive.
And he's still alive. Yeah. Like nobody but the conspirators died
Yeah, which
in
was
this one.
interesting to me because it wasn't all of the conspiracy. I'm closing this.
We have all had dog issues at one moment. Yes.
It wasn't all of the conspirators, and I guess that made me question how was Desmond able to see who was and wasn't one? Because I
Yeah.
feel like the Atreides guy should have
Yeah.
also been burning up, but then also at the same time, all of the mothers should have gone up in flames. And you can kill the mothers because he did it to the one at the beginning, and she was
Right.
like a galaxy away.
Right. Yeah. They're not immune to being burnt from the inside, which, side note, the one guy had gold teeth and you see them melt in his mouth.
Yes,
And
I
that
saw that, and I was like, gross,
insane.
but like, okay,
Right.
attention to
Like
detail.
that is an attention to detail. Yeah. That I was not expecting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bravo.
yeah.
Like that was, yeah. So, okay, what do you make of the dream that all the girls had at the beginning?
I was trying to figure that one out. That one I've been kind of going back and forth with. So it's part of the prophecy,
Hmm.
but why are they having this dream? Like, why now? And also, why are they all having it in unison? Like,
Right.
that is the part that I'm trying to figure out. Was it that they put the
Do you
younger
think,
sister?
yeah, I was gonna say, do you think it has to do anything with Lila's resurrection?
I, it's either that or Desmond's just presence is disrupting the flow of the force or something, but
The fear is coming out, and fear is a mind killer.
exactly. And I'm wondering if the heads of the sisterhood being so shaken that it's like a trickle down effect
Like the
But
barriers coming down, kind of like,
exactly.
yeah, like the wall, but yeah, their protective barriers coming down. Or did you think it was because the dream was very specific to holding a knife to your throat and killing yourself? Is that Lila and Dorothea?
And that's where I kind of settled. Like I said, I've been going back and forth, but because it was so specific to the knife,
Hmm.
and while we don't know the full extent of Desmond's powers, what he knows doesn't know,
Right.
the fact that it was so specific to the knife, I think it has something to do with Layla. That's where I've settled.
Yeah, that it's more of just her coming back to, or whatever, she's coming back, and if she's brought something with her, kind of.
That's where I settled. I said, I'm not 100% on that one, but because the
Right.
dream was specific to the knife. But then when I start seeing them drawing the worm, what I'm blanking,
Shahalud.
Shahalud, then I'm like, okay, well, is Desmond having something to do with this?
Right. And are, yeah, or any, is everything in the afterlife connected? Like if he
Exactly.
died, yeah, if
Yeah.
like he died and came back and she's died and come back, is there a connection there between them? Like are
Yeah.
they sharing some, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that one
That's
definitely had me thinking. And then I felt like with Princess Natalia, Empress Natalia, you could see at the beginning that, hey, buddy, I'm doing something. I need you to go. Hey, I'm doing something. I need you to go. Thank you. That's why I send text messages that say I'm doing something. Anyway, um, Empress Natalia and them all at the breakfast table.
yes.
You could still see the conflict with Desmond sitting there with all of them.
Right.
But then by the end of the episode, it clearly that conflict is gone as far as the Emperor is concerned.
Oh yeah, the Emperor, I think you hate to say sees him as the son he doesn't, he's never had, because he does have one, but like he's more in fate, like Desmond has won favor in him more than Constantine has. I think like almost sees Constantine as just an irritation,
Yes.
whereas like now it's like Desmond, like he's one, he is his weapon, so he is providing him power. He is providing him a service that, his son can't,
Yeah.
provide him, and he is bleeding, like he wounds himself every time he uses his
Yeah.
power.
That was interesting, and the scars had no real rhyme or reason. It was just
Right.
there were a lot of them on his back.
And
So
they bleed when he does this.
yeah. So that one was very interesting. So when I saw the scene and then Mother Valia took the blood, my mind immediately went to Batman versus Superman. She's like, "Tell me, do you bleed?" Because like now she's seen, not that he's human. I mean, he is human, but she sees that he can be affected.
Right.
So
Well, then,
now we're gonna go
right.
figure out how to exploit that.
Which
And
actually would be more Rocky 4, I believe, right? He's not a machine. He bleeds.
yes,
Which
so
I'm actually not convinced he's not part machine.
okay. I
Okay.
wondered. I There was a part of me when he really leaned into stomping out machines. I mean, they're all kind of
Right.
like that. Like they had a whole war about it. So I get that he's talking
Hmm.
about it, but there was like a very brief moment where I'm like, are you like part cyborg? Like I was like, did they pull Terminator into this? And then I'm like, oh my God, the first episode I literally said the opening
Right.
scene was literally the opening scene of the Terminator.
Right.
But
And
I feel
so,
like if it was, they would have that would have been hinted at some point in one of the books. Like they haven't hinted at human like cyborgs, I don't think.
um, no, but I know that, Paul Atreides' son Leto. I believe Leto is his child. And like he becomes like part worm.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So like is this Varian Atreides? Did he resurrect like this Desmond thing as a cyber, like
Okay.
is this
Okay.
um I
I can
can't
see
figure
that. I see what you're saying.
yeah, I can't figure out if like he's also resurrected. I mean, obviously he's resurrected because if you're to believe his story, he's killed by, he's consumed by Shahaloud and then I spit out, like not kills him from the inside, does the drag the Drax
Right.
and
But if he
springs out.
is the bleeding to throw us off the scent because we see blood?
Right. Well, she's going to test the DNA and find out. And my guess is that she does not find anything, or it is this is my theory. My theory is she either does not find any DNA linking him, making him, or there's Atreides DNA.
Okay. Interesting.
So, what would be your? We did find out that Kieran Atreides, that Albert was his dad.
Yes. Yes.
So, in a sense, Tula did leave a bloodline open
Yes.
because of her
I
telling him to
didn't,
skedaddle.
yeah. Her one act of kindness.
Right,
So my theory is that they test the DNA, and I did think I was like, so what are you planning to find? Because like you've already said who he is. He hasn't really
right,
had, he's Desmond Hart. So either you find out that he is this, or you find out, like you said, nothing comes back, and it's like, okay,
right,
so who are you really?
right.
Um, there was I did think maybe he'll be in Atreides, but then I thought, what if, what
Oh,
if he was a Harkonnen? And I'm still trying
oh,
to even connect the dots on how I would get to this point because they outcast the whole family.
right.
So I'm curious, how did the brother go off and while he was gone before he died? Because like he was
Right,
here and then he was dead. Like
right,
nothing in between.
right,
When
right.
he
We
went
we will
off,
get into that in a little bit too, because I left
yes,
out a huge part of the show,
yes, I have
and that
questions.
Theo is a shapeshifter, which bravo to the show. They did not make shapeshifting look as fun as everything else does
Literally
in
every other,
every other
well,
media. They made it seem painful and horrible, not like the Skrulls taught us in
no,
Marvel.
no. The only other time that I saw shapeshifting be painful like that, or just not easy, was in the
Right.
last season of The Boys, and
Okay.
they could look at you and be a chameleon, but they had to like physically peel off whatever their last bit, like, so when they're
Ew.
getting chased away, they're like peeling off pieces of their body. So that wasn't great, but this one has taken the top spot for the most unpleasant shapeshifter.
Right.
Because I
Which
thought she
that
was hallucinating at first, and then I was like, did she make him out of like sand or spice? I'm like, wait, how far do your powers go? And then I'm like, oh,
Oh, no wonder she did. It was like, please don't make me do this again. Like
yeah,
I thought I left that life behind me, and please don't make me shapeshift. And then after Valia's fight with her uncle, which was amazing because
yes,
I think he's the only one that has gotten her to snap and scream.
yes,
Usually she's very calm and collected, but he got her to lose her mind.
yeah.
Um, and she
Show
ends up
real emotion, not the
right.
veil that the sisters put on. Like he is the one that's able to get the real you.
Right, which does make you, you start to wonder, like, okay, is this sisterhood above all, or are you always out for a Harkonnen? Like,
Exactly.
is everything, is all of this just for a Harkonnen on the throne?
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm trying to figure out if while the brother was out doing whatever before he, unceremoniously died, did he impregnate someone somewhere and have the Harkonnen name secretly carry on that no one knew?
right.
And then the kid is Desmond, and she finds out that he's a Harkonnen. But the question is, how does she connect the dots? But honestly, I feel like if Desmond was, he would just tell her once she figured it out. Because he's
Yeah.
not really into keeping secret. I mean, he's into
Yeah.
keeping secrets, but he
Well,
also is very open about who he is.
right, the DNA would easily
Yeah.
give that away. That's unless,
But I don't know if that one's really feasible. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Like that one is a very they could do the craziest thing type of theory, but
right,
it's not like a fully thought out one. I was
right,
thinking his DNA was just going to come back inconclusive, and so they'd be like, "So
right.
what is this
So
guy?"
yeah, like what are you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think they're going to use? Clearly Theo being able to shapeshift is going to be, I mean, is this going to be an assassination attempt then using Theo?
Who would they be trying to assassinate?
Well, I mean, think they're still clearly trying to assassinate Desmond.
Well, okay, yes, but I feel like Valia would think that he would see it coming. I thought maybe use her as Desmond to either fake or real assassinate someone in the royal family to have them turn on him.
Okay.
Because I don't know if, I mean, Valia, like we said, is it sisterhood above all or Harkonnen above all? I really don't believe for a second that she would worry about the safety of the
Theo.
shapeshifter. It's like
No.
she'd send her out there the same way they sent Lilia to
Oh,
the table.
I feel like she might end up being a casualty.
I could say now that they've given her a little bit more purpose, I can see her being used until, or not even until her usefulness has run out, but used until she can't be used anymore because she's dead.
Right. Because
I think there's a
that's,
lot of casualties coming.
yeah, because that's, I don't, do they, I don't like the shape. I mean, like in the 10,000 years later, I don't think anybody's a shapeshifter.
Not that we've seen so far.
Right. So you would
Now,
think you
what
would
I
kind of
am
want
curious
that
about is just,
bloodline.
yeah, that's true.
So I'm like wondering, it's like, okay, well,
Hmm.
does does, is it? And I mean, and now there are also factions starting again in the sisterhood.
Yes, yes. So everything comes full circle. So
Right.
Valia and Tula ended not the overzealous, but ended
Yeah.
yeah,
Overzealous
they
would be the
they
fanatic.
ended
Yeah.
that faction when they, had their whole coup. But by them leaning so far into what they've done over the years, the natural the cause and effect is the other side is going to now rise up against you or start in there. So
So you
that was
see, it was
interesting to see.
because it was Emmeline, I believe her name's Emmeline.
Hmm.
Yeah, she becomes obviously due to her vision,
Yeah.
has some questions.
She has some questions, and then I thought we were about to get the one answer down there, but like I thought when she went down there, I thought that was real,
Right.
and then it was a dream,
I
a
did
vision,
too.
whatever.
Yeah. That scene where she shows up and is questioning Tula, like, I've
Yeah,
seen everything, I know everything. Yeah. And then it was like, no, I was like, oh, okay. So what is this? Like, okay, so is that just Tula's fear?
yeah.
So, like, that's her fear manifesting and coming to light because they're all, she allowed herself open to fear once she put all the acolytes in that trance, and they were all scribbling, and she couldn't get them out of the trance. That that unlocked a fear in her. That was a fear that she's like, oh, well, crap, I didn't know I had that one that I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting to see the sisters losing control
Yes.
and not know how to handle it because ever since they really took over, they've been in control. And not even ever since they took over, because we did learn last episode that Tula was the sneaky, dangerous one.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, she controlled that whole situation at the camp. Like, so
Right.
it's not just at the school. And then the older mother that I is questioning Tula, Tula, Tula and Valia. I'm I'm curious where she's going to end up in all of this.
I think another casualty. But
That's
on
what
that
I'm
note,
thinking.
give me
She's
just
questioning too many things, and when the younger sisters question it, you can just be like, "Shut up, stay in your place."
right.
But when you've got another professor that's like, "Oh, hey, wait a minute, wait a minute."
Exactly right. Hold on, let me pause it real quick.
All
Right.
right.
All right, back. But yeah, yes. So you wonder how much longer is the I think I think she'll be I wonder if she'll be killed by Lila.
Oh.
Because like I just see
It all depends on where Lila falls
yeah,
on the spectrum right
of
now of like,
deranged. Yeah,
yes,
coming back and being how crazy are you? Like
yes.
because like yeah, now we're only 2 episodes left. Like how badly does this all go and how fat, like you can't again I I
Yeah,
don't
I know. I
know.
wondered that too, because like she's back, and I'm like, okay, so are you with Tula and Valia, and you're like, we got to stop this guy? Are you just crazy because you were dead with
Right.
the ancestors? Are you back and you're leaning towards the little secret faction in the basement that's being started over here? Like, for
Right.
me, there are three different directions you can go, and I think a lot hinges on where she's at. And then obviously with Sister Jen, like her whole thing, I'm trying to figure out.
Like why is she not affected by anything?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what is her power
What is
maybe?
her power? What is her role? Because she was very arrogant. She seemed to pick up on the trainings really easily and really quickly.
Right.
But then she also was the one that was not romanticized with the religion. She was the one
Sure.
that was questioning it like from the jump.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so you're already making enemies with the mothers. You were pissed when they threw an untrained Lila into the agony. It's like
Right.
they've been pushing you away this whole time, but now we're also seeing that when other stuff is affecting the sisterhood, you're not affected. So who
Yeah,
are
you don't have
you?
that hive
What
mind
are
kind
you?
of thing goes, right?
Exact. And I'm wondering, is like you're not part of the hive mind? So like, are you the only one there that's pushing back? But I don't know. I have a lot of questions about a lot of different characters right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like, can they do it in
2 episodes.
2 episodes?
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
again, and we always end up back here about the stick in the landing for the finale. Like every show they've gone through, I'm pretty sure that has been
The
a
running
question.
theme.
We didn't really worry too much about stick in the landing for House of the Dragon because we knew that there were more seasons.
Right.
We did question like how the season was going to end,
Sure.
but I think that one was kind of separate because we knew like
Right. There's
no
more
matter what
seasons,
you
right?
do, we're getting another season.
And you know the story that they're going to use. So
Right.
you like the the ending for a third of the way or a fourth of the way through a story that has, a lot longer to go, you're not too worried about it because you're like, well, this is just it's an intermission
Yeah,
here.
we've
Like
got the
we're
book right
just
here. We know what's going on.
exactly right, right. Like we know there's more seasons. We know ultimately how, some people know ultimately how it ends, and this is just you're just bookmarking this to come
Yeah.
back to later. Whereas these other ones where, it's like Agatha all along and the Acolyte and Penguin and now this show, these are uncharted territory areas, and it's
Yeah.
like, will they be able to? And it does suffer from following the Penguin.
Oh, 100%. Because
So
there's same streaming service and just again, yeah, starting what a week after, maybe 2 weeks, like a week after.
it was literally the next week that
Yeah,
Dune started, right?
that's what you're competing against, and there's just like there's no way around it. Sucks to suck, but that's where it's
Right.
at.
Exactly right. Like but you probably angled for this, like you
Oh,
angled probably
no
for
doubt.
this startup. So it's like now you were under the same thing. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything come out in the entertainment news that says it's already got a second season
I
lined
was
up.
looking for that. I had been looking to see like, okay,
Right.
i- is there a second season? Because I'm sure there could be, but
Right
we are
now
in
there's
the age of
yeah.
limited series. Like there are shows whose whole plot
Right.
is to do a limited run of 8 episodes and you get that's it. So
Don't know. So, do you have any theories to end this episode
well, I
highlighting
think the death that
episode
we've been
4?
talking about, obviously episode 4 was what we kind of were banking on,
Right.
and that's what would have happened until Desmond ruined it.
Death
Um,
deaths did happen, just not the ones we
that's true.
thought.
I believe next episode there will be deaths. Because of how quickly the story is moving along,
Hmm.
I'm thinking that the sister Emmeline and their little secret faction that they're starting is going to be surfaced and either snuffed out like right then,
Right.
or the sides will be picked by the end of the episode. Like I don't think this is one of those things that's like very subtle. Like with the way that
Battle
these
lines will be drawn.
yeah, like I think
Gotcha.
they're meeting in the basement for the first meeting. I think their second meeting will be in public, like because of how quickly it's moving.
Right.
I still think Constantine is a casualty, and I think next episode is when it happens. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. I just I
I
look
need
at
this
his
kid to
character.
die.
I look at his character and I see him as you were
Expendable.
written into the story to die.
Right.
You were crewman number six. Like,
It's true. And you're not given a lot of meat.
yeah, yeah.
So, like, yeah. I really, really do hope. I mean, again, this thing is clicking along fast, so I do expect them to get some sort of results from this DNA quick. I don't think that should be an episode 8. I'm sorry, an episode 6 kind of thing. That might be, I
Agreed.
feel like, a little too late.
Hmm.
Um, unless it's like, he's dead and it's like, oh, and then we find out, I don't want it to be like, and oh, like I don't want it to be like the carrying of Spider-Man through the subway, like,
Right.
to be like, and we
Yeah.
find out it's like, give it now and what the implications of either what his DNA is or what the lack of his DNA like brings us. Like, give us those answers quick because I feel like that doesn't end a story. Like there's still whatever direction you go, there's plenty to go off of either
I think
way.
him
But
being an Atreides is a very plausible um theory because it will give a nod to um Paul. Again, it's 10,000 years before, but if you have this one coming out of the sand being ingested and spit back out by the worm,
mhm.
Shadalud, like if you make Desmond an Atreides, it's like, okay, like I see what you're doing.
Yeah, the Atreides line has got to go on somehow. I mean, because if this is like if she wiped them all out
Yeah.
and Albert was the only one and Kieran is the result of that one being left alive, are they all gone? And he is it? He is like the sole survivor? Because if he is, then him and his bloodline have to go on because da we know. If he's not and you find out there's more, I mean, okay, but it then it's like, well, why did you just wipe out a camp of them, like kind of thing? Um,
She didn't want to wipe out the whole family. She just wanted to event. She just wanted to, stress relief. Just a little
just for
stabby
the
stab.
just for like one planet of them. Like
Yeah, but
like how
then,
many
like
like
her
are
uncle
they
said, all that would have done is like fanned the flames of the blood feud.
which you have. This all is. That's all Dune's written about
That's so true.
it's just the Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah. Now, does
Because
Harrow Harkonnen have any repercussions for bringing the accusation? Because to me, I feel like, well, they're already at the bottom of the totem pole, so it's not like he can be any worse off.
But did he get it out, or was it? Did everybody forget about the fact that he was bringing it up, and now it's Princess Inez, who ultimately is the one who challenged her
She
father?
is the one that challenged him. He is the one that like pointed the finger at the Emperor. He didn't necessarily say like for what, but he did. Oh, wait, did he say the Emperor?
No, she said it.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he says, you know, like, who do you? They asked him, like, who do you find? Who are you accusing? And he's kind of like, and she ended up spitting it out. So
That's true. I mean, I feel like shouldn't have faced any repercussions, all because
no,
let's say everything that happened with the information that he had,
right?
he acted correctly. Now, you find
Sure.
out later in the eyes of the people, Desmond was doing a service to the Emperor and actually protecting him, but you can't fault Harrow and House Harkonnen for bringing the accusation because the only information that they had to go off of was the limited information that was put out. He was
Hmm.
within his rights to do it.
Right.
Now, with the new set of information, again, us knowing everything, like, yeah, we see Desmond can't be trusted. But in the eyes of the council, from what they see now, it's like you look at Harrow and it's like you didn't like you were within your rights to do that.
Right.
But like you said, Princess Yanez, yeah, they just put
Inez.
certain letters that shouldn't be together
Right.
just to throw me off.
And
But since
it's
technically she
Dune.
issued the challenge, it's like you're in the clear because you could have said, I was actually going to say that guy that got burned to a crisp, and you know, oh well, he's gone.
Although like Inez did see that did see that conspirator sitting with Kieran Atreides, the when
Yes,
so you wonder if she'll have some questions. And again, it get 2 episodes. It got a lot to wrap up
a lot.
in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna end there with Dune Prophecy. But do you have any thoughts on any of the Golden Globe nominations that came out today?
There were a lot. I mean, obviously it's the same amount that are always out, but I saw it and I was like, yeah, I feel like every movie nominated something, and I was just like, all right, guys, calm down.
I feel like Dune didn't get enough.
I agree with that one, and I'm still angry that Hans Zimmer is not able to go for best, not screenplay, for best score because he sampled too much of the original Dune
Right.
music, which I'm
And
like, okay,
Denny Villeneuve.
fine.
Yeah. Denny is not didn't even get a director's nod.
Really? I
Mm-mm.
missed that. What?
No, no.
Well, now I'm angry. All right.
I think it was only nominated for two. Best Picture and something else, but that was it. It
How
was
would
not.
you, to me, and I
Yeah.
realize it kind of is like repetitive if you do it this way.
Hmm.
I've always felt if something gets nominated for Best Picture, you automatically throw in a Best Director's nod. And again, I realize the slippery slope that puts you on. I fully acknowledge that. But in my mind, if you're saying this movie was so good that it was possibly the greatest movie of the year, how
Hmm.
can you then look at the director and be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he was it's Best Picture and Best Original Score are the only two
Oh wait, so they did get Best Original Score?
nominated for two Golden Globes
I
for those two.
I heard that Hans Zimmer got snubbed because he sampled too much. Am I just completely
Mm,
misinformed?
think so because that's yeah, the no cinematography, no director.
Academy disqualifies Hans Zimmer Part 2 score. The
That's the
Oscar.
Oscars.
There we go. Got it.
This is just Golden Globes. So,
Oscars rules forbid a sequel from using more than 20% of pre-existing themes and
hmm.
borrowed music. That's what it was. So he won't win an Oscar. Give him the Golden Globe.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll discuss more as far as like no, the Oscar nominations don't come out till January 15th, I
Yes.
believe. Um, I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, I am kind of disqualified in a sense. I've disqualified myself
Oh, okay.
from speaking too much on Oscar and Golden Globe nominations because while I do watch movies,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't watch enough to like speak on what
True.
should and shouldn't
But
have
you did
won.
see Dune 2. So I mean
I
like
did.
automatically I feel like anybody that saw Dune 2 this year should be able to speak on the awards because like if there was
Yeah.
I've unfortunately I feel like a lot of these committees suffer from recency bias
Yes.
and it's
And it
like
was too
okay, well
early.
whatever just came out in the last 2 months, we'll nominate that. And it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, oh, Dune 2
What
didn't
about
come out.
Civil War? What about it? That was so long ago.
Yeah, ugh, March 1st. Who can remember March
Yeah. Well,
1st?
and
Like,
I do say because I try not to speak on it too much, but yeah, if you've seen Dune 2, then you know it should have this, which is how I felt about Across the Spider-Verse.
right.
It not winning Best Animated Film will forever just anger me. And I realize the other animated film was good, but
Good.
the created like a whole new animation style
Yeah.
for Across the Spider-Verse, and not like for the whole movie. They created it for just specific parts of the movie. So they overlaid that animation, new animation on top of the existing animation. Yeah, I will never let that one go.
I have a feeling a lot of people are not going to like there. It's like Dune 2 is kind of, it'll be interesting when
Do
the
you think
Oscar.
it was because of how early it released that they don't have a lot of Golden Globe nominations?
I think unfortunately they do suffer a lot of recency bias because everything that now, I mean, historically, everything that usually is nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes, a lot of that stuff is usually is released. Or you could say this. Is it those films are more likely to be released by the end of the year? So in order to make the cutoff, and this is Oscar and this is award season kind of movie time, or is the reason we think that is because they've only nominated stuff that comes out at the end of the year.
Right.
And so it's
I get
which
what you're
comes
saying.
first, the chicken
Yeah.
or the egg? So you're like, do they suffer recency bias or are the really the best movies put out at the end of the
Yeah.
year? I think
That's a
in
good
this
point.
case you can say, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I agree, Wicked's a great movie. I don't like, but I mean, like again, that's in my opinion, like putting that up head to head against Dune 2, that like to me there should be that's no question. That's a no brainer.
Yeah.
But you don't put him up for director.
It-
So
Yeah. That's wild to me. That
wild.
that blows my mind.
It's gonna get crazy, but
Yeah.
that's what we're here for is to discuss it all. And so on that note, we're gonna all bid you adieu.
Yes.
Where can we find you, William?
They can find me at will underscore duh underscore beast underscore.
We have a lot of underscores. And now we're on Spotify at
Yes.
Entertainment X Pod. Yes, you
Love it.
can find us there. Yeah, getting it on Spotify. I have only put on this so far this season when we've talked about Dune Prophecy. I will load all of our past ones on there at a later time, but I just wanted to get us hurried up and out there on Spotify. So yeah, you can find us on Spotify and at Entertainment Pod. And we're working really kind of hard on getting it out there more and all over the
Yes.
place. So until then, we will see you tomorrow, or I guess after next week's Dune episode 5, and
Yes.
see where we're at. See
Yes.
how close we are to getting our theories correct.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
until then, bye.
We'll see ya.